Hi everyone, it's me, Little Bird. So, before I start to talk a little bit more about how curses had been involved in my life, I am going to go back to 2006. In 2006, I was clean and drug free. I had a job and I had my own place. My daughters were back in my home, and I had a good foundation for my recovery. So this one day, and I had a really good relationship with my mom. Me and my mom would talk for hours and hours and hours every day. And one of these conversations, my mother was talking about how proud she was of me and my younger brother, Calvin. And that she wished that our middle brother, Daryl, could find recovery as well. Considering the fact that I had a home and I was responsible already, and that I knew the area, like Lethbridge. I had lived there for years now, since 2002. I made a decision to help my brother. I phoned him up. He was living at my auntie's and with his girlfriend, and I asked him if he was ready to change his life and get off of drugs. And he told me he was. And he told me that he didn't want to go to treatment and he didn't want to go to detox. He didn't want to be away from his girlfriend. He wanted them to do this together. I said, that's fine. If you are truly ready to change your life, I will help you. If you guys can get from Valley View to Edmonton, I will have 2 bus tickets waiting for you. And you guys can come and join me in Lethbridge. When you get here, I want you to sleep and eat and drink lots of water for the first week. And then I'm going to help you guys to get your resumes together and go out and look for a job. You need something to be proud of. Both of them were working within 10 days. 12 days since that phone call. And we functioned well together. So we moved from my tiny basement suite and we moved into a 3-bedroom townhouse with an unfinished basement. It had a big, huge room downstairs in the basement. My daughters, they took the master bedroom, and my brother took the middle room, and I took the other room. And we lived together for another year. By this time, I am 2.5 years clean. My brother and my sister-in-law are both a year clean. And we got a phone call from our youngest brother, Calvin, requesting money to pay his rent. He needed a couple $100. He didn't want to let us know that he had relapsed, but he didn't have to let me know. I knew. So instead of giving him the money, I gave him an ultimatum, an alternative solution, not an ultimatum. I told him that he can sell all of his stuff, sell as much of his stuff as he could, clean out his apartment so that his landlord could rent it off right away and break his lease. Because it doesn't matter how much he tries to stay away from the stuff, he's already in that environment where he is going to get sucked back down. We have an extra room and jobs are plentiful. Come and live with us. So my brother Calvin came and lived with us. And he got off the drugs. And he reached his 1 year. And they reached year after year after year. After 3.5 years of living together, we all moved our own separate ways. After 2.5 years of Calvin living with us, we all moved our own separate ways. And we were still functionable. We all still had a good foundation for our clean time off of crystal meth, off of crack cocaine. We experienced a couple of things when we were living together. And this was in 2010. The end of 2009, the beginning of 2010. During this time, my fiance, Rob, was living with us. And we had announced our engagement right before Christmas, the beginning of December. And as soon as we announced our engagement, weird things started happening. You see, up until this point in our life, and in our recovery since 2005, mine, and with 2006 with Daryl's, 2007 with Calvin, we had nothing but good times. And then Rob and I announced our engagement. And then we got into a fight when we were drinking. Because these curses that had worked against me in the past, me and my husband, came back to me. These curses, they bring people, they lure people to us. To tantalize us sexually. So that's what happened with Rob that day. The day that I had a Christmas party, Rob went out to go and look for a suit. And he had met this girl that helped him find this suit. And then that evening, he felt guilty. And we got into an argument because we were supposed to get into this argument. We were both drinking, so the spirits that are around us that are trying to get this job done, they have more power over us because our spirit light is not bright and it's not inside a body when we are drinking. It walks beside us. So this night, Rob tried to stop me from going somewhere and from pulling away from him. So I'm pulling and he's pulling, and he sprained my wrist. He physically hurt me. So I left. And I told him not to come home if this is how he was going to behave. See, what I did there was I pushed him exactly in the direction that the spirits wanted him to go. I gave him no option to come home. And then Rob received a phone call because he had exchanged his phone number with the lady that he had met earlier in the day. And this lady, she invited him over. And I had no idea where Rob was that night. He didn't come home. And to me, when he wasn't coming home, he didn't want to. I'm thinking that, okay, he thinks that we're going to get into a fight, no problem. And I'm crying. My wrist is sore, and it is my right wrist. It's the one that I cut with. And I work in a chicken factory, and I cut chicken. So when Rob came home, you see, he kept what he had done the night before to himself. And my brothers got angry with him because he hurt their sister. And when Rob had met this girl, he wasn't working. So he was already starting to feel low about himself. He had a low self-esteem. And that's when the devil comes in there, and he goes and puts somebody to make you feel better, to make you feel wanted, to make you feel desirable. And he puts these people into the mix. And that's what this girl did. She made him feel something that he was lacking temporarily. But what he was lacking was not in our relationship, it was within himself. We didn't know that curses were used against any of us. When me and my brother Daryl lived together in 2000, we didn't know curses were against us. But they were. And then they were back in 2010. Rob and I ended up arguing quite a bit. He started drinking a lot after that. And I mean a lot. Every day he was drunk. Because he was holding on to this secret. He had cheated on his fiancée. He cheated on the love of his life. And he had also hurt her physically. And that's not who he is. So he started feeling guilty. And it wasn't too long before our engagement was over and we broke up. That curse that was placed on us to break us up broke us up. But when these curses work against us, isn't it odd that we can't let go of each other? It's because we weren't supposed to be broken up.